My Lords, for me this is getting like election night. Any politician in the room will tell you it's when you are really tired but you're so wired that you can't possibly sleep anyway. Now, I've signed 3 of these, but I wanted to speak mainly to 315A. I'm concerned about the whole part of this bill because it's far too broad and it risks criminalising a whole host of innocent behaviour. We heard earlier about the right to move around. Well, today I got stopped by the police outside. I couldn't go for nearly 250 yards on a pavement because a band was going through. Now, I love an army brass band. That's absolutely fine. So I joined the crowds on the other side of the road that were all pushing and shoving. So, you know, we often stop. We often take away the right to move around, sometimes for good causes. And I would argue that protest is a good cause. And from a point of view of stopping traffic, let's just remember that traffic jams cost us billions every year. And millions of people are inconvenienced. Millions of people have long times added to their journeys to work. These are working people who are delayed by traffic jams. This morning, outside the Marlins Hotel on Westminster Bridge Road, 3 Mercedes parked in the bus lane. The buses had to go round, slowing all the traffic. What's the government doing about that sort of thing? You know, I did contact the police and sent the numbers and so on, so let's hope they got caught. However, the definitions in here of serious harm are a mess, because serious annoyance can't be a crime. It's too difficult to define. You can't put people in jail for just being annoying. I'm sure we'd all like to sometimes, but you can't do it. However, in particular, I'm worried, after the way that COVID was policed quite early on, about the inclusion of disease in the new public nuisance offence. Because at the start of COVID, I think every single prosecution at the start, and possibly all the way through, was a wrongful prosecution. And that was partly because I will be generous to the government for once. So the government got confused and they did blur the lines between law and guidance and advice and all that sort of thing. And it was actually very hard for the police. I've said this before in your Lordship's house. It was hard for the police because they didn't know what they should be doing and they became a bit overzealous, and it may have been well-intentioned, but it really wasn't appropriate. And so we had the wrongful prosecution and wrongful convictions from those wrongful prosecutions. So please, let's get a bit more careful about the definitions here, because I think this is going to cause more problems. Now, we're all boasting about our qualifications for going on demos and that sort of thing. My first demo was in 1968 for CND, and I'm still a member, and we're still fighting nuclear weapons. But anyway, that's another issue. So I would argue that the government is actually taking chaos and ambiguity to new heights. So I would urge them to not allow this dangerous, confusing language to go through, because it's certain to lead to injustice.